In the recent FNAF Security Breach State of Play trailer, we got a release date finally, but thanks to the showcase, we also got to look at more elements of the game, and honestly, we have more questions than answers. So those are what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe and this is the Top 10 Scary FNAF New Security Breach Theories. Let's do it. All of these revolve around the new trailer. Into 10 messages. So in the recent trailer, we got to see gameplay of the cameras, which seems to be required in a FNAF game at this point. However, in these screens we have multiple tabs, including cameras, an odd missions tab, and finally the messages tab. Now, why do we have messages? This seems like such an obscure tab to have on this watch. Why, if we are the only human other than Vanny in this pizzaplex at night, are we able to get messages? Who is going to be sending these messages? Who are they going to be from? How is it possible? Are we going to be getting messages from like the animatronics, or is someone working with us? Are we going to be able to talk to Vanny, or I guess Vanessa? Are we going to be unaware that Vanessa is Vanny? Because while it may be obvious to us, we wouldn't really know about it in the in-game world as Gregory. Since, I mean, to be fair, in the game we don't have things like source code and teaser images that we can decode the original names of in order to learn the true story. So, what's the deal here? In at 9, animatronic slayer. There seems to be some form of animatronic serial killer on the loose in these games, at least if we look at how we interact with Chica at the beginning of the video. And we know this takes place in the game and not just a cinematic, since the beginning of the trailer says that these clips are part gameplay and part in-game cinematic. So this moment does happen in-game. Whether it's at the beginning of the game or at the end is an entirely different question, but it's still possible nonetheless. A giant pipe just so happening to fall on Chica as she's about to tear you a whole new butthole? Yeah, that's certainly a coincidence and not something that was planned at all. However, this doesn't really have to be something that's out of the blue. What if we instead, as a part of a plan, lured Chica to that location so that someone else, possibly Vanessa, could push the pipe over and crush her, in an attempt to stop her from hurting anyone after Vanessa is saved and reveals that Chica is being controlled by Afton? And at 8, system override. Now, I made a mistake in my last video about what Sundance and Moondrop says. The Sun version of the animatronic doesn't say that he wants you, he instead says that he warned you. What did he warn us about, you ask? That's a theory for another day. However, what Moondrop says seems to have caught my eye, since after changing to their Moon variant they say, quote, "you naughty boy." And while that could just be a mommy king thing, I'm thinking there's something else going on there. Because even in the custom captions that PlayStation added to make sure that we hear the right thing, Moondrop's line isn't included. Yet things like "I'm trapped" at the beginning of the trailer that even auto-generated captions couldn't pick up are included. So what's the deal? Could this be maybe a form of system override, or a way of showing that Moondrop, and by consequence the animatronics controlled by Afton, can get around the barriers of other media, since Afton is after all sentient code? Or is William Afton truly on YouTube? That's something I proposed after Glitch Trap appeared in the Freddy and Friends episode 4 glitches, and if Moondrop, who is most likely controlled by Afton, is able to subvert the YouTube systems in order to stay hidden, maybe there's something more there. And at 7, zombie virus. Now we know that William is infecting some of the animatronics with his form of the Afton virus. His whole, "oh yeah, I'm a sentient code" thing, while yes is indeed a computer virus, what if it causes the animatronics to act in other ways? For example, what if it makes the animatronics act like zombies as some form of robotic zombie virus? I mean, at this point, it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility for FNAF. These goddamn animatronics can do whatever the freaking hell they want to, and then we just have to go with it. So them being revealed as some freaks of nature that after being possessed by Afton have to feed on other animatronic parts wouldn't be very far-fetched. Plus, it would explain what the heck Chica is doing at the beginning of the latest trailer. If Afton is only able to possess one thing at a time, like I suspect, the animatronics would obviously end up being damaged after he was done with them, so there would be some residual bull that they would have to deal with because of him. So maybe it's just that they're turning into freaks who eat nuts and bolts and gears. That really grinds my gears. I hate to see Chica like that. And at 6, Freddy and Friends reveal. If Freddy and Friends was supposed to be building to the reveal of Security Breach's release date, then why did they reveal it in the latest PlayStation State of Play trailer? The whole hype surrounding these Freddy and Friends on tour videos was that we would slowly get the Security Breach release date, one number at a time. But now, what are they building towards? Some think that it would be the same date for Security Breach, but I think that perhaps instead we will actually be getting a Freddy and Friends cartoon, or a Freddy Fazbear themed cartoon. Since someone new is taking over, it could be an easier way to familiarize themselves with the game lore, to help promote the movie, if that's ever actually going to be a thing, and we can get more information on their take of the FNAF story at once. and it would most likely be a higher quality than these Freddy and Friends cartoons, because while yes, the animation is fine, and it's definitely hard to do, and it's meant to pay homage to the classic cartoons, it's literally the same thing over and over again, just with a different setting. These animations are like the Back to the Future movies of FNAF cartoons. Like, to be fair, I do love Back to the Future, but they do the same thing over and over again. Halfway through into number 5, Nightmare. What the absolute living hell are those mini nightmare puppet looking things at the end of the recent trailer, and that were actually the first glitch in Freddy and Friends? These little animatronics look very close to what a nightmare mini arena would look like to me, but my question is, what the hell are these things doing here? The existence of a nightmare looking animatronic seems to suggest that perhaps this game is a nightmare a la FNAF 4, which could explain a lot if this is in fact a nightmare inside of Vanessa's head while she's fighting her dual personality or fighting William's influence. It could explain why we see both Vanny and Vanessa in the game, and plenty of other things as well. It seems like a cop-out, but this could be Scott's way of saying that FNAF 4 was in fact a dream, if that's the route that he wants the series to take in the future, with a new owner having the IP now and taking charge seemingly after this game. But what do you think? Do you think that Security Breach could be a dream in Vanny's head, or is that just a little too much at this point? Let me know down below. See, like, I wouldn't say that anything is too much for FNAF except for Dream Theory. At this point, that's probably a little much. And at 4, Music Man Spider. Music Man was introduced in FNAF 6 and really was only present in that game, as well as having a minor role in Ultimate Custom Night. But this time around, he seems to have gotten a huge promotion. And when I say huge, I mean it. In just a couple seconds of the trailer, we can see a giant Music Man animatronic crawling out of what seems to be a sewer pipe. My question is, what gives? Why is this Music Man Spider created? Why were they created, and what purpose do they serve? Is it like a functional animatronic that gives people rides while they cry and scream about being on the back of a giant spider, which would be totally understandable, by the way? Or is it just like an animatronic test subject built by Vanny to see how big an animatronic could be so that she could control it with the virus? I mean, like, we've never seen an animatronic this big before. So could this just be a dream? Or like a nightmare version of the Music Man? Because thanks to this, we now have confirmation that it has to take place after FNAF 6, which only makes it more confusing with FNAF AR, because the dates on the emails correspond to the date you're playing the game. And I know that that's why it says 2020 and 2021, but like, what the hell? Getting close to the end, in at number 3, Intentional. What if all these horrific moments were actually intentional? What if trapping Gregory inside the restaurant was done on purpose? I mean that they know something is going down here, right? Based off the final waiver that we're told we must fill out when leaving after we've been given complimentary cups. Quote, please make your way to the front of the building where you will be given novelty glasses, a voucher for 1 free soda refill, and where you will sign a legal disclaimer releasing us of all liability for anything that might have happened during your visit. And by the way, really? 1 free soda refill? Shouldn't you just, you have to pay to get into the actual Pizzaplex, right? I'd assume so. So like, why can't I just get infinite refills? Like, soda is probably one of the most marked up things in restaurant history. So like, just let me have free refills, bro. Anyway, that line also plays over Vanny dancing up to us from down the hall during this final line. And this company, being made in part by Afton, I think it's safe to say that they know more than they're letting on here. Especially since in FNAF AR they're shipping out animatronics that are meant to be copies of William's body in the Springtrap suit. And later on, while William is in the hospital, the nurses know he's a bad person. So Fazbear Inc. would have to know who was under those ears, right? I mean, at least I'd hope so, if they're not incompetent, but then again, they definitely are. They would especially know if those 8-bit minigames are the games that Scott made in universe, right? Since we see the spring locking happen during one of those games in FNAF 3. Just saying. Penultimately, in at number 2, good guys. Are the animatronics actually going to be the good guys this time around? At least until they end up getting corrupted. I mean, if they do get corrupted. It wouldn't be unlike Scott to make a whole separate story for if we somehow prevent the animatronics from getting corrupted, then that leads to the good ending. However, we only see Freddy helping us, but could it be that at the beginning, the animatronics are actually helping us get out of the Pizzaplex? I mean, the Sunrise animatronic said that he warned us, right? Well, warned us about what? The virus? What would happen if Vanny got these animatronics? He says this just as his night persona Moondrop takes over, and he tells us that we've been a naughty boy, so maybe this isn't the nighttime version, but rather a version that he changes into when he finds a criminal in the database, like the FNAF 2 animatronics would have, the toy versions. And the coding just flips it so that Gregory is hostile. I mean, these animatronics do look very toy-like, especially Chica and Freddy. It's certainly a theory, that's for sure. And while it may not be a new idea exactly, it does have some newer evidence thanks to this trailer. And finally, in at number 1, Worn Down. I made sure to point this out in the trailer breakdown video talking about the release date, however I think it deserves its own spot here. Throughout FNAF AR, the various animatronics that you have to deal with will have to deal with some wear and tear. It's part of the job. They get damaged occasionally and you need to repair them, no biggie, it's just a game mechanic. However, that mechanic seems to have been getting added to Security Breach as well, or at least the whole wearing down thing. Since thanks to this latest trailer, we've now seen Chica in a fixed state, a slightly damaged state, a more damaged state, and an even more damaged state than her teaser image from out back. You know, the teaser image from Dako's charity stream where she's missing her beak. Yeah, she gets even more damaged after that in this trailer. She starts losing parts of her arm. This indicates to me that these animatronics are going to have some form of health stat or something similar, since we also seem to think that these animatronics will have different stats, and that these stats will be particular to each animatronic, with Roxy having the highest speed and Montgomery Gator having the highest strength, something that was also showcased in this trailer, with him smashing a laser, and something that has been hinted at since the first gameplay trailer in the last State of Play event. Because, you know, Roxy was just pushing on the gate and it wasn't opening, but Montgomery just absolutely tore through it. But what do you think? Will the animatronics wear down, or will we have a little more theorizing to do later on? Be sure you let me know your theories down below. There you have it, friends, the top 10 scary FNAF new Security Breach theories. Are you excited for Security Breach, and did you guess the release date of December 16th? I was one day off! I will forever be mad about that. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.